Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 45. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a look for the past week, what has actually happened. So last week was actually US election week in here, and definitely we saw some extra profit on that particular day. We had expected a lot more volatility. Certainly we got something, but not in the range of where we were expecting to find it. And I guess it turned out that it was a clear winner, so very early on, and that's why the market simply came down again. Obviously, there is a bit of a trend going on at the moment, and we're going to have a look exactly how that affected all our EAs for this particular week. But for sure, some of them had a good profit this week. We're also going to have a look at the launch that we did. So last week's news report, I told you we set up 16 brand new Lucky Trader EAs in here that we should be able to work on a $1,000 account. So far, the results is extremely good. You only saw the first 24 hours, but I can tell you after also the US elections in here and what it did actually for the past week, it looks extremely promising, almost too good to be true. Still early days, but I'm going to show you exactly what has happened in that particular week here. And we're also going to have a closer look at the new EA. And this is actually what it looks like when you add this one to the MT4 platform. So I'm going to show you a bit about what that is and also give you a bit of insights exactly on how the setup is, because there's several EAs and videos here now that is covering these particular subjects. There's actually also an indicator what this one is actually prior based on. So that is now fully operational, and we have the first test already running for you also to have a look at. So, and Expert Forex has even more on this subject. There's also a new one, EA, that might be coming out. So there is one of the videos in here from Alex. This is actually an old EA that's been dusted off, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about it later on in the program. So let's get started through the normal portfolio that we have here at High-Tech Investment. So this week's Yieldnodes update here is actually a bit different because we got a news report out again by email. So from Steve Woods or the management team in here, and it says, hello Yieldnodes. We know this email is a bit longer than usual, but it filled with essential updates on the Yieldnodes projects. Your patience is much appreciated as we bring you up to speed on the recent developments in here. They ask for, again, patience and understanding in the matter, transparency and support. Obviously, you can read everything here for yourself. They also tell us here that the legal boundaries due to ongoing legal proceedings, we're limited in what we can share. They continue to mention that, so bear with us. This is also why we post the video updates, as every statement must be carefully managed to avoid any misinterpretations. And then again, there's a commitment to the recovery despite the 2 years. So their commitment is still very strong. And it says the team is focused on the recovery with all hands on deck to secure a positive future for Yieldnodes and the community in here. They're also talking about the 5% quarterly returns that we used to get. It says in the past, the credited 5% returns every 3 months as part of the staking process. This reflected the work involved in masternoding and staking, while these regular credits has been paused due to the value of the coin depreciation here, preventing Yieldnodes from exchanging those coins into Bitcoin. It's crucial to note that the core activity, the staking and masternoding, has never stopped. Our commitment to these operations remains steadfast, and you can always verify the status of the coin holdings directly with your Yieldnodes member area. This is the one I normally show you here every week. We're going to have a closer look at that later on. Again, clarification of the earnings. So again, this is not just the potential of the coins. It says the pause is showing returns. Does not mean that you won't earn from the projects. The true potential for the profit lies in the reappreciation. Again, the business that is going to be linked with the coins in here. And the stake and the masternode coins. As these coins are sold at a favorable price, any gains made will be reflected as profit for you, our valued members. Simply printing a number on a screen would be a holy gesture, unable to capture the real tangible value working to create. So, okay, we understand that, and we have been hearing a lot about that before. guided by legal counsel. Again, it says that our decision to pause showing returns was aimed at protecting all Yieldnodes participants due to the value of the coin depreciation, preventing Yieldnodes from exchanging those coins into Bitcoin. So similar of what you just heard in here, the future path, our road to recovery and growth hinges on the market positive reappraisal of the stake in Decenomy Coins. Once we have a clear understanding of the evolving legal framework, our goal is to resume regular credits and continue our efforts to build long-term value for everybody involved. Okay, last but not least, again, the NFT issues and the updates in here, saying the backlog is almost resolved. So obviously there's still some members out there that has an issue. And then shared future together. As we move forward, the roadmap for Yieldnodes will become clearer with regulatory progress. So rest assured, our newsletter will keep you informed every step. Important is to stand together and build a united front. Okay, so obviously not too much news other than this particular one, and it doesn't really have much consistency or dates in it as usual. So if we go and have a look at the Yieldnodes platform itself, what they are talking about here is the audit coin reserves. And when you click on that particular one, you get to these particular pages. And now I set it up in such a way that you can see the prior week. So week 44 is where we were last week. You can see the masternodes that are running, the masternode balance and the staking balance in here. And then you can see it for the week after. You can also see the overall is at the top up here. So obviously the number continues to go up. You can see on the PNY, we have additional 2 masternodes running in here. And we also have SAP coins at an additional from 58 up to 67. So an additional 9 for this particular week. So definitely things are going on in the background, but obviously the value of the coin is the important part, which we're going to have a look at here. So if we take a look at SAP, we can see the red part is where we left it last week. And the green marker over here is where we ended up at the end of the week. Again, pretty similar. It was slightly up through the week here and over the weekend, and then basically dropped back down again. So pretty sideways, and we are still at around 0.70 and 2. Not much movement at all on that side. However, on the staking side, as we mentioned, instead of just having the coin sitting doing nothing, we put them into the wallet and set them up for staking. Looks like this. And so far, for this week, we have 280 SAP, so that's good. It's actually the first money we've gotten in from November. You can see the last one here was 27th of October. So it has been 2 weeks until we got something last time. And for the week itself, it means that we got about 1% with the 280 SAP and at least the first marker on the November profits. PNY, similar one. We also have one only for this particular week here of 133 PNY. Also the first one here in November. The last one was 28th of October. So that is also a good progress. And that pretty much means that we are at now 0.6% or 133 PNY in here. So again, things are going in the right direction, but very, very slowly. What is moving fast is actually Bitcoin versus USDT. Now set a new all-time high record again, so breaking through 80,000. And we know that people several years ago said it might reach 100. We'll have to wait and see. But definitely last week we left it just north of 68,000. It was trading sideways for the next 1 or 2 days and then had a good jump up, traded more sideways. And again, over the weekend, as it happens quite frequently here, actually managed to break through the 80,000 barrier in here. So quite impressive. And if you're holding Bitcoins, well, definitely your value just went up quite a bit. We also have to talk about the Trillant news. And for now, this is actually a month where it is a bit in limbo. We mentioned here before that the platform itself goes offline from November 1st, so it has done that already. So again, at the moment, we are simply waiting on the next update and details. And this is the last part that we got from the Trillant Top Team channel in here, saying again, there were some people that didn't manage to put in the right TON address. and they are being contacted by email in here. So hopefully they have been getting that done. Otherwise you have to go back to your uplink and then contact them in here. But we should see something by the middle of the month here. So the first indications, and then at the beginning of December, we should now hopefully have some of the ton values in here. So on the address that you have provided. If we have a look at the 3 coin in here, which is actually going to be phased out, well, we left it at the red circle here last week, so 0.40201. That has had only small little spikes in here, not too much of sales or buys, and ended up at point and then 40184, so slightly down in here. So it looks like the coin is still being traded, but obviously fluctuation will be very, very small now that we are going over to the new coin. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at the Trade Explorer in here. For week 45, the 10 pair one did quite well with $262 or 2.6%. So this is quite a good of an average for that particular EA. We can see the balance is an astonishing 42,237. We started off with 10,000 if you remember. Floating profit and loss 333 at the moment. So we are well within the good parts. We have total return of 276. Monthly return 7.5, and don't forget we are not changing the lot size in here, so it would be normally quite a lot higher, or if you would have taken out your profit along the way. Weekly returns 1.7, so even we haven't changed it, that is still some extremely good numbers here. Trade wins are high, 75.4%, and still trades per day is around 12 with a history now of 546 days. So plenty of details and information on that particular account. And if we go and have a look at the weekly profits again, so I mentioned to you before 262. And if we look at the prior weeks, you can see that is actually quite good. We had the crazy week here of October, so early October, and it managed there, but it also got into a big drawdown. After that, things have actually settled back down again. So, and that's why we get this, let's say, mediocre results. Now we have some very good results from the Wave Liberator for the week of 45, the top 5 EAs in here, all doing quite well. All of them are basically cashing in, so it's not just one or two that are producing these results. New Zealand CAD came in on top with $76 or 7.6%. Aussie Swiss francs, $73 or 7.3%. US Swiss francs, $68 or 6.8%, and US Japanese $64, 6.4%, and Aussie Japanese $58, 5.8%. You'll notice that you'll find both a lot of Swiss currencies in here. You have a few US, and you also have here the Japanese. So there's a few that are coming in and basically making their mark on the week with a total return of $338 or 6.8%. Which is astonishing. Again, for this particular EA, continues to deliver what we have been promised for a long time, and that's also why this particular graph is looking like this, extremely smooth all the way through. This is again all our 22 accounts started off as $10,000, so equity is up to 246, and the floating profit and loss is under control also with minus 7,636. Even though we timed this up and you traded on $1,000 accounts instead, it would be 76,000, so still well within the limits. Close profit more than 30,000, and if we have a look at total returns, 16.8, monthly returns 1.2 and 0.3% on the weekly returns. So again, depending on your risk strategy in here, you can, instead of trading it on $10,000 accounts as we do, you can go on $1,000 accounts, and then you will see your monthly returns at 12% and 3% on a weekly return with a trade win of 67.4%. Plenty of pips in here. Trades per day for this EA is about 14.3 and a history of also 450 days. Everything has been extremely good and stable for these particular EAs for a very, very long time. And you can also find them on our website. We have now changed a few things, so it is clear that all these signals is on the coupling service. The only one that is not is the CAD Swiss francs, which has been playing up here since the Swiss francs had a bit of a trending moment. Hopefully that one will come back in. So we can add it also to the coupling service. We made some further adjustments again, and then hopefully that will be the end of it. If we have a closer look at the numbers, so all these numbers you have seen already, overall portfolio is actually up this week with 788. So, and that has something to do with the US elections. Again, we could see that especially on the day, so or the day after the elections where it came out that Trump had won, we made quite a few extra $100 in here. And you can also see we have to go all the way back to end of September to find similar results. Also results for the RSI Liberator for week 45 is extremely good. But here the Aussie Swiss francs did a jump of $127 or 12.7% just for 1 week. Again, remember, Aussie USD, $83 or 8.3%. Great British Pounds, Swiss francs, $75 or 7.5%. And then we have the Aussie CAD, $65 or 6.5%. And then the lower of the top 5 in here is the Euro Swiss francs with $59 or 5.9%. Overall, if you would have traded those top 5 accounts, you would have made $409 or 8.2%. That is another very, very hefty one. So for this particular EA, and also that graph looks extremely well, apart from this flat area, which we discussed many times, had something to do with the account basically set up with the IG demo accounts. That has been resolved and now it's running again. We can see the balance. Also, again, here we have 22 accounts of $10,000 each. That is up to 238. Equity is also 229. Floating profit and loss is currently minus 8,700. So also here very much under control with a closed profit of more than 16,000. And if we go and have a look at the total returns, 4.1%, because it hasn't been operating that long, 219 days compared to what you saw on the Wave Liberator. But the monthly returns is coming up here. Last week we saw it about 1%, now it's 1.1. And also for the weekly returns, it was 0.2, now it's up to 3. And that has something to do again with what happened with the IG account here. Basically wiped out a lot of the profits in here. So at least on the account basis, not on the accounts themselves. So this is just for the visual part. So also here you would have, if you traded it on $1,000 accounts instead, 11% and about 3% on the returns with a trade win of 65.8%. Plenty of pips in here, but this particular one actually trades 21.4% a day. And the history, as we mentioned before, we've also added a lot of these now on the website and again marked them up in here. So Expert Forex have taken on another 4 or 5 compared to what we had from last month. And you'll see now the section here where it says on coupling service means that you can go to Expert Forex and you can now find the links and you can trade it similar to what we are already doing here. So you can go and have a look at that. That is definitely some of the accounts that are cashing in every single week. If we have a look at the entire portfolio, again, the beautiful graph in here, we can see that also the profits is up 823, and we have to go all the way back also here to early mid September, so maybe around there, and again end of September. We are still outperforming from the past 1 or 2 months, which is obviously great, means that the EA is working, it is doing what it's supposed to do. And you can find a lot more details on our website, both for the Wave Liberator and the RSI in here. But we also need to have a look at our PAMM account for this particular week, where we have made an additional profits as usual. Also here you have the beautiful graph. Unfortunately, all these notches and ups and downs is actually withdrawals that are within the account, and that's why we normally run all the demo accounts, because then we get rid of this and we can clearly see the profits every single month. In here it's very difficult because every single time profits are being taken out, the monthly returns basically drop down. So again, this is not calculated in the right manner, unfortunately. History 258 days that you can count on. And then we are looking at the weekly returns of 2,930 in here. We didn't have any withdrawals, so this number should actually be correct. And you can see that is, we had some withdrawals last week, I believe, but we are still up overall, so cashing in every single week. And if we have a look at the overall PAMM investment accounts in here, we can see that the accounts is up to 588. We have about 271 in here. The gains that are made, 167. And out of that one, so we have actually made almost 90,000. So well over the average in here. Also, average gains is 28.4. We are up at 32.8. We also have, unfortunately, a bit more of a drawdown, but that's also when you have bigger profits in here. That has come down also since then, so that is actually good news, and also come down from the prior week in here. So this is what we had in the week before. You can see 243 days, 249, and again, so profit has come down since then, and going forward still looks very, very good. Now, I promised you also we're going to have a closer look at the Lucky Trader EA in here. And all of these on our website has now been set up, so you can go and have a look and look at the individual ones. You can look at the profits, the drawdowns, whatever it is that you are interested in. And we are also going to show you here the Lucky Trader for week 45, the top 5 EAs. So now that is a full setup again, and this is now set up and calculated as it's traded on $1,000 accounts. So we have made all the adjustments in here. The Euro USD is actually on top with $162 or 16.2%, quite astonishing. But it's not the only one, because Great British Pounds USD is up at $151 or 15.1%. Aussie USD 146 and 14.6%. So these top three is extremely good for that particular week. You can see that it has the USD in here, and that has something to do again with the elections and the fluctuation we had. New Zealand USD, $93 or 9.3%. And then we have EuroCAD, $80 or 8.0%. So these top fives of the new setup here, you have $631 or 12.6%. Very, very good results. Definitely above where we expected it to be. And if we have a closer look at the accounts themselves, we can also see in here that the balance has increased. So from 160, because we have 16 accounts in here, we're only trading the lowest volatility currencies on that particular one. So we are trying to avoid the high volatility, such as the Japanese yen on many of the ones. Equity here, we are still below, but that's quite normal. So about $400 below. With these particular ones that are running the recovery strategy in here, it always takes a bit of time before we are turning it into a positive. Close profit, as you can see, it is very close to the floating profit and loss, which is actually good. And again, there's plenty of margin for this new EA. The returns at the moment is at minus 0.3%, but that's expected. And then we have a monthly return of 2.9, and it might not seem like a lot, but if you remember what we have on the Wave and the RSI Liberator version in here, and that means because these are set up on $10,000 accounts, if you then convert it into the $1,000 that you can actually trade it with, it's basically calculating a monthly return of 29%, extremely high. The weekly return here also is calculated at the moment at 0.7 on a $10,000 account, and 7% if you trade it on $1,000, which we obviously, again, don't really suggest. We suggest that maybe you're going to trade it with a $2,000 or $3,000 account in here instead. So just to make sure that you are safe, especially in the beginning. But obviously we don't have the links on the copy link service yet. Have a look at the trade wins here also, very high, 72.4% in here. Plenty of pips already taken. And there was a very aggressive part on trades of the day, 53.4, and with a history of 11 days. But again, the first couple of days was actually a Friday where we didn't start it, then over the weekend. So this has actually only been trading so far for 5 trading days, plus just this morning. Now, if we have a closer look and see how that has developed. So these are individual days, because this is brand new, as we said. This was Sunday. So that's why it's only 10. Then we have 146, 124, the day after elections, where it came out, who's going to be president, who is not. We have a massive fluctuation cashed in very nicely on this one, and also on the next day with 233. Friday came down a bit again to 170, which is hopefully also the right level that we should have, somewhere around 150, 170. We'll have to wait and see. And then in here we have the net profit for the week, 1,272 overall, that you saw here earlier. Now, I mentioned before, and you have seen this picture regarding the bell trading strategy and the logic behind it in here. And we are obviously developing certain things based on this particular trading strategy. Some of the things that we are now taking into account here also for our other EAs is actually this particular one in here. This is a trade analyzer, so that we have gotten a free gift from Expert Forex. And this actually shows the turning points in here. So it will tell you exactly what is the trends before it's actually returning again in a range of numbers. You can see Aussie CAD in here. It will have you, the longest one that they have is a sell of 412 pips. And also in here, average buy, it's again, we are looking at the slow and the fast in here. So, and they're both 412. And then you basically set up your strategy based on this. And with the bell trader, it actually looks like this. So normally we are used to the individual grid trading that is just on the level, but this particular one here actually goes for the center. So you can see the yellow one is the center of the trading as it is at the moment. So it means that things are actually going in the upwards direction depending on how far you are looking back. So we are trading all this, and then you can see the individual levels. We have set ours to maximum get to level 10 in here. So in the beginning, the spacing in between here is very, very small, and then they are expanding over time. And hopefully they will never come out in this particular area here. So we are using the prior history to set up the future strategy, and that's hopefully exactly how we're going to trade the bell trading robot in the future, where Alex also here has a couple of videos and reviewing the trades since the launch. He's going to show exactly what has happened, so the profits that has come out of it so far and what has been learned. And also here in the successful trading accounts, he's going to show you 20 martingale techniques. We have actually a lot more that is also successful in here. So these are all from the HDA, it's from the Wave and the RSI Liberator. So all these different ones, and including also the bell trader. So some of the best ones he have basically put into one portfolio. You have the same option with ours. You can go and handpick exactly which ones we have in here from the coupling service and build your own portfolio. That is definitely the best way to go about things. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this particular video here, there is also a possible new EA. So that is being automated. So this particular EA and the trading technique behind it so is actually quite old. It has been out for a long time. But now it looks like Alex has managed to automate this, double the account in one trade. So there is a few trades in here, but definitely it can be done in a very, very quick sense. And he's going to explain that in the video in here. If we're going to see this particular EA anytime soon, that is a bit too early. I haven't seen any confirmation of that. But hopefully we might be able to see a couple of tests and some back testing on it. If you are a premium forum member with Expert Forex, you normally get that particular option, and then we'll obviously show you our results when we get to them. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, things are developing. Things are basically taking a very, very good shape. Several EAs now cashing in every single week, every single month, getting extremely stable results in here, which is what it's all about. Slow but steady growth, and that's what we are trying to do in here. And at the same time, new EAs are coming out, similar or sometimes different concepts in here. Definitely the latest one from Expert Forex is set up in a different manner than what you have seen the rest of the Liberty versions are in here. Obviously, we still have to wait and see exactly how this is going to work, how we're going to actually get our hands on this. Maybe we're gonna also do some testing again, but obviously you'll have to wait for the further updates for next week's news report. So until then, I hope I see you around. Cheers, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.